Hi Hilary, welcome to beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia for our National Conference of the Canadian Christian Meditation Community under the theme From Anxiety to Peace. We have about 80 people attending in person, 75 people online, all joined with a common purpose to find out how contemplative practices can help us face the challenges we face today. I opened the conference with a reminder that anxiety doesn't have to be seen as a negative event. It is part of a transition, and we can live transitions as a planet, as we are doing now, as we transition from a world that depends a lot on fossil fuel, but eventually will depend more on renewable energies. And also we can go through personal transitions as we live through anxiety, but we know that with the grace of God, peace is in the horizon. So the first speaker was Wendy Charbonneau, Elder Wendy Charbonneau, who is an indigenous leader in the Squamish community, and yeah, she reminded me the importance of the ancestors in our traditions, and how in the indigenous tradition time doesn't really exist. Ancestors are still alive today, guiding people through their journey. And also they think a lot about, when they make a decision, about the next generation, actually 7 generations into the future. So that's good lessons for us as we are thinking about the future of our planet and adopting practices and habits that will impact future generations as well. Father Lawrence Freeman, explained, as he usually does, really well, the radical simplicity of a discipline like meditation, and how prayer is allowing the divine love to transform us. He also talked about how reality is where you place your attention. Kaveh Gillanpour is a very important negotiator at the UN, and also he worked for the UK government to lead the Paris Agreement in 2016. He's now involved in climate finance, so that means he's helping steer the, basically the capital, private and public capital around the world towards a net zero future. He reminded us that through research that human beings are not equipped to handle really well, major challenges like climate change. We often, overemphasize the benefits of the short term at the detriment of the long-term benefits for the planet. So contemplative practices allow us to not lean on our own understanding, but to rely on God to lead us through the Red Sea, and God makes a way, but we need to align ourselves to God with His purpose. So that's where basically we talked about how maybe contemplative practices could be integrated in workshops and negotiations around the world, leading to agreement between countries towards solutions to the climate change. That was a very dense session, and after that, Diane Tolomeo, who is an English literature teacher, professor with a long career in and a passion for poetry. So she offered us some poems that deal with anxiety, and she reminded us that poetry is a way to dwell in the place we are and enjoy the truth. So dwell in the moment, dwell in the truth that the poetry may reveal. It is in a way to deal with anxiety. And she gave us one example of a poem I'm going to read to you. It's called I Worried a Lot by Mary Oliver. So I worried a lot. I worried a lot. Will the garden grow? Will the rivers flow in the right direction? Will the earth turn as it was taught? And if not, how shall I correct it? Was I right? Was I wrong? Will I be forgiven? Can I do better? Will I ever be able to sing? Even the sparrows can do it, and I am, well, hopeless. Is my eyesight fading, or am I just imagining it? Am I going to get rheumatism, lockjaw, dementia? Finally, I saw that worrying had come to nothing and gave it up, and took my old body and went out into the morning and sang. So really like a realization that there are things that are beyond our own understanding and control, and sometimes you just have to let it go. And again, contemplative practices allow us to let go of the self. What happened after Jason Brown? Oh, Jason Brown taught us about the life of Charles Brandt, who is a hermit, an ordained priest, but hermit who lived until 1993. And you know, we have an image of an hermit, of somebody who lives at the outside of society, and you know, basically lives on his own. But this man, you know, through his love for nature and his peaceful activism, he has done a lot to save, for example, salmon in the Fraser River in near Vancouver. And he reminded us that that in the face of anxiety, climate change, there are things that we can do as an individual, with our family, with our environment, with our community, to change and transform the people in our lives. But it starts with our own transformation. And to be frank, today on Sunday morning, I hope we discuss what kind of actions can we do in the future in our own environment, not necessarily at a global level, but in our own lives. So personally, Hilary, I'm left with a feeling of hope, because I found here other people who, like me, live their lives in reverence to God and the sacred that is found in nature, and who do not despair but continue to march on their journey from anxiety to peace. So peace be with you all in Trinidad and Tobago, and stay on course. Goodbye.